Just about some days ago, the draws for the AFCON were made by CAF, and Nigeria was drawn in Group A with the hosts Cote d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. Now, in 2013, Nigeria won the Nations Cup in South Africa, and since then, you do your mathematics at the moment, 10 years counting, Nigeria is here to lift another trophy. And with the array of stars in the team, with the players at the moment, the coach, and a lot of things, there are lots of expectations for the Super Eagles. Now, to of course dissect and analyze the chances of the team, how well the team can actually go when they kickstart their tournament in Cote d'Ivoire in 2024, is an ex-international, a man, of course, who was part of the winning squad in 1994 when Nigeria won the Nations Cup in Tunisia. And he was also part of the US 1994 World Cup. And since then, he has gone on to become a coach, has coached Nigeria at the Kedia level and another African country, Tanzania. We have Emmanuel Amuneke joins us live all the way from Spain. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to In the Game.
Good morning. Good morning, Favour. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. How is the weather and family over there?
Everyone is okay. And the weather, we are approaching winter, but everything is good. Thank you very much for asking.
All right. The draws, of course, you also followed the draws that were made some days ago. Nigeria in the same group in Cote d'Ivoire and Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau. I remember in 1994, we also had Cote d'Ivoire to play, but of course not in the group stage. What did you make of the draw? Favorable draw for Nigeria or not?
I think it's a good draw for Nigeria. Why am I saying this? If you want to be the champion of the AFCON, you must be ready to play every team that comes your way. And if we find ourselves in the group of the host country, which is Cote d'Ivoire, in line with Guinea-Bissau and then Equatorial Guinea, it's a very interesting group. But like I said earlier, Favour, if you want to be an AFCON champion, you must prepare yourself. You must, from psychological point of view to the tactical point of view and the individual point of view and collective point of view, you must be ready to be able to compete to become an African champion. Nobody is going to, dash you the cup for free, because we shouldn't forget that all the teams that made it to Cote d'Ivoire, they all played in different groups and then were able to qualify in their various groups, and that is the reason why they are there. So it's not going to be an easy tournament, but any team that wants to win it must be ready to face challenges and must be ready to play.
All right, since the last time Nigeria went to the African Cup of Nations in Cameroon, there's been some changes. Genotro left the team. We'll have a new coach, Jose Peseiro. Some players have also left and some players have also come into the team. How close is Nigeria towards winning the African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire or other Nations Cup?
Well, I think one thing is that we are one of the contenders to win the AFCON. But also, football cannot be, driven by emotion. Football cannot be based on because you have talented players, which is good. Nigeria as a country is blessed with a lot of talented players, and it is good that we start seeing most of these players, doing very well in their respective club. But we should also, made it very clear that club levels are totally different from national teams. And the national team, you have to perform in a short period of time, and you need players. Apart from their talent, you need players that can compete. You need players with characters. You need players with determination. You need players that really understood the game, that can interpret the game to the advantage of the team. And you mentioned something in last AFCON in Cameroon. From the group stage, we had a very good game. After winning Egypt, people were a little bit scared because of the name Egypt possesses. But we won them 1-0, and then we went on winning the remaining two games. And then we qualified with 9 points. So people were kind of, we are going to beat Tunisia. But it shows that in that game, the Tunisian team, they were more prepared from tactical point of view. They were more prepared to manage the game. And I think one of the major problems, probably we must assemble good players, it's not just about assembling good players. It's about, working with these players to really understand what is being expected from them when the team has the ball and when the team does not have the ball. So we must analyze things from a broad perspective, not just based on we have good players, we have Usine, we have Chukwueze, we have Boniface. We have to look at the team from critical point of view. We are going to the AFCON. Every department, whom are those that we have? What are their level? What are their performance? In case if we be able to be confronted with tough teams like Senegal, like the same whole country, Cote d'Ivoire, what would be our reaction? So these are things you have to, as a team, from the coaching point of view, you have to sit down, analyze things deeply, and then come up with a plan to work towards that. There are a lot of things people, that are not directly involved in the team. They not know, but in modern football now, every detail matter. Even things you might think it's not relevant. They all matter. So you have to find a way, to bring those things into the team so that the players they can really understand what should be expecting from them and what they should be expecting from the opponent. Because at the end, it doesn't only belong to you in terms of because you are good. You must also be ready to face the challenges that the opponent will present to you.
All right. You just talked about what Nigeria needs to do to win the Nations Cup. We bumped up to the former president of the NFF, Amaju Pinnick. He also had something to say about Nigeria's chances. I will just hold on a bit and hear from Amaju, and then we'll come back to you. Emmanuel Amunike will come back to you shortly.
Our prayer is that it's not the area of stars. It's the resilience. It's what's inside of you, and. Yeah, we have area of stars, but it's going to be 11 playing against 11. But it's that determination, that patriotism, that Nigerian flag. When you look at Nigeria, you want to win for Nigeria. So I think the federation is doing very well, talking to them and building up their mental capacity and also their psychology, because that's what it comes to. It's not about their skills anymore. They have it. It's just the psychology of winning.
All right, Amaju Pinnick talking about determination as key towards Nigeria winning the Mundial. We still have ex-international Emmanuel Amunike with us talking about Nigeria's chances to win the African Cup of Nations. You just listened to Amaju Pinnick talking about 11-11. It's not just about the array of stars Nigeria has. I mean, he also said some of the things you also talked about as regards winning the tournament.
Amaju, in one way or the other, is right in terms of talking about it's not about 11, it's not about having good players. It's all about 11 against 11. But also, we shouldn't forget that the 11 against 11, there has to be some elements that will make those players, to really be able to execute the plans that will lead them to win the AFCON. And if you don't have those capacity, and with all honesty, and one of the major problems we are having in the team is that I think probably we lack the ability to manage a game. It's not just about you have a good 11 players or 22 good players. If you don't have the ability to manage a game, in modern football now, you have to manage the game to your own advantage. I remind you again back to the last AFCON. When we played against Tunisia, everybody said, we are going to beat Tunisia. But what Tunisia did was they realized that, they couldn't go toe-to-toe with Nigeria. And they tried to slow the game to their own advantage. They keyed the game, they managed the game. And when they got their goal, then they were able, to key the game finally. And these are part of the tactical approach from a team. It doesn't matter whether you have a beautiful player that can score 10 goals. Once that player is being caged, at the end of the day, it becomes short one to the team. So there's a whole lot of factors, that team they need to look into for them to be able to have that success in Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay, all right. Just before the World Cup, you were drafted into the team to join the coaching crew. And the game against Ghana in Abuja, a goalkeeper hauler cost Nigeria with the goal that was scored in Abuja Fast forward to yesterday, the friendly between Nigeria and 2 days ago, the Nigeria and the friendly that was played in Portugal. Another goalkeeper mistake cost Nigeria also a draw. And since the exit of Eyama and Kali Keme, Nigeria has been having issues with our goalkeeping department. And it still looks like that department is still a cause for worry when we talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Coach, I would like to ask you, how can this problem be solved? Because, ever since 2013 up until now, it's been issues of we don't have a quality or a credible goalkeeper who is consistent with his performance, match in, match out.
Well, we have to be very, very honest to ourselves. Most of even the goalkeeper you talked about, Uzo was part of the 2013 Agenda 17 level, and he was able to progress now to the senior level. You see, football has gone beyond that, and I keep on saying, football has gone beyond just to have good players. You have to continue to, train the players, even the young ones. You have to continue to teach them, because football is just in that department is one of the most important departments. Probably in Africa, we don't pay much attention to it because now it's a goalkeeping department. But that department, you can have a very good team. But if your goalkeeping department is weak, your chances of winning any tournament is very, very poor. Yeah, we have to go back and, invest in developing our goalkeepers. And these are what other countries are doing. Even in Spain, where I'm living, you could see amount of time being spent to develop young players that probably in the next 5-6 years, those players will be playing at top level. It's all about development. It's all about implementation. It's all about, being serious. One thing is we can come out and we say a lot of things because we are in Nigeria. We like to be on the side where people can come out and speak a lot of English, and at the end of the day, nothing is happening. So if we really want to be honest with ourselves, we need to come up with a plan. How can we, from all the states that we have, and if we are serious, it's very simple. All the states that we have, how can we go in and look at young goalkeepers and begin to train them? Who are those trainers, goalkeepers that are, good, that can help us to be part of this project? So you see, you are educating your young players. At the same time, you are educating your coaches to be able to, pass this information to the players. But over the years, we have dwelled on bringing only players that are being trained in Europe. And at the end of the day, you have lost that interest where you have the opportunity to develop your own players that are in Nigeria. So it's the same thing that goes to the players that are playing in Nigeria. We can always say, the league is not good. We can always say, no, they are not up to the standard. But have we ever come up with an idea where we can help them to develop, where we can prepare them to understand the game and be able to compete with those that we bring in from Europe and to join the team to make it more a formidable team? So these are things, we need to, from a holistic point of view, we need to look at it and ask our questions. If we're having this kind of challenges, what next can we do? Should we continue to have the same problem, or should we go into to do what is right, to start to develop our goalkeepers so that in the next years ahead we can have good goalkeepers? Yes, we can keep on saying Nyama, we can keep on saying Rufai, we can keep on saying the other goalkeeper, but those guys, they have done their part and they have moved on. The new generation, we need to develop them because the game in question is constantly changing.
All right, development is key, and also looking at this young generation, we must invest. And before I let you go, final words. Nigeria play Mozambique tomorrow in another friendly match. What are you expecting to see? In the angle of being a coach, yes, you're not the one, the coach of the team, but what are you expecting to see tomorrow against Mozambique, an African side different from Saudi Arabia?
Well, I'm expecting them to play, to have a good game. I'm also expecting them to look at the areas, because in the last game against Saudi Arabia, they were not clinical. They had a lot of chances in the first half, but they were not able to take those chances. And in a football, when you have those chances and you are not taking it, at the end of the day, you have to pay for it. They also have to improve in their defending. You see, if you want to win, you cannot be scoring and conceding goals easily. They need to also improve in the ability of managing the game. In that game, they were leading 2-1. They could have managed the game. There is no need sense of going to unnecessary attacks to score many goals. You are leading 2-1. Why don't you manage the game? If you cannot score any more, then you manage the result that you have. So these are key factors that are very, very fundamental when it comes to football. The capacity to defend when the team does not have the ball, not just individual defending. We're talking about collective defending, where everybody involved in the defending, both directly and indirectly, because there are people close to where the ball is. So what are they doing? And there are people far away where the ball is. How are they watching the possible receiver? So there are a whole lot of things that the team needs to do. But like I said, it wasn't a bad game, but they have another game, to be able to go back and review what they have done in the first game and then try to implement it in the second game.
Coach Emmanuel Amuneke, I mean, you are, of course, giving us a lot as regards the chances of the Super Eagles, what they need to do, and where you expect to see a change in the team. We really appreciate for your time, and we hope to, of course, have you one of these days or one day in the future, of course, coach the Super Eagles and also do more in terms of Nigerian football coaching. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Favour. Thank you, and thank you to the listeners. Thank you very much.